7th grade cultural studies teacher. And just like they've been wrapping up their 2 years of middle school, I'm wrapping up my first 2 years of middle school here at BMS as well. So I feel like I've kind of been on a parallel track with them in many ways, maybe the same track. Going in the same direction those days, actually. In the science class this year, one of the things we focused on was food science a bit. Yeah, we did the Michael Pollan analysis of whole food versus the processed food like products and basic nutrition. In the spirit of that, the students I want to introduce today are all breakfast cereals. This also ties in well with the media literacy work we've done on the bombardment of marketing that we're all subject to. So you can't talk about breakfast cereals without talking about the impacts of media as well. Sam Lowinger. Sam is EnviroKid's Organic Gorilla Munch. That's a cereal currently on the market, if you haven't seen it, put out by Nature's Path. Nature's Path claims to be nurturing people, nature, and spirit. It wasn't so much the organic or the gorilla munch that got me, it was that nurturing of people, nature, and spirit that I kind of connected with Sam. Sam's such a wonderful member of this community, respectful and loved by everyone. He is truly a nurturer of people, nature, and spirit. During his time in the middle school, he's shown such growth as a student. And I love his desire to do good work in this world. He's often also the only one to laugh at my bad jokes in class, so I appreciate that. And he's always ready for a response. Sometimes it's outright, sometimes it's under his breath, but he's always responding. I love it. I especially love his interest in protecting the natural environment that we all depend on. I have a feeling that this passion that he has to continue to grow and blossom into great activism in his future. Samuel Lowinger.
My time at BMS was like riding a roller coaster. Sometimes the coaster would go up, and sometimes it would go down. And sometimes the coaster would go through dizzying spirals. When I first came to BMS in the 6th grade, the coaster was heading upwards. For some, this would be symbolic of anticipation, but it really means that I was struggling. I did not like having work period for 3 hours. Sometimes I would do work, and other times I would just sit at the table and do nothing, either because I didn't want to do work or because I couldn't pay attention for 3 hours straight. I liked using the English materials because they helped me understand the parts of a sentence, but I didn't like using the math materials. In fact, I think I could do math better without them. At the end of the year, the coaster reached the station and it was finally summer break. The next fall in the middle school, the coaster stood head downward, and life became more fun and more challenging at the same time. Classes became harder but more interesting. I liked school more, and I liked to schedule with separate classes for each subject. I also connected with the teachers, and as a result, I continued my learning. For example, I liked the way that Zach and Dee taught us how to write paragraphs. As my time in middle school went further along, I also started to make more friends and get to know them better, especially during our recent trip to Mexico. Since the Mexico trip, I feel like I've been going through a spiral because I don't know what lies ahead. I'm trying to figure out who I am and what it will be like to leave BMS and go to high school. This has been both exciting and a little confusing. As the year comes to a close, the BMS roller coaster reaches the station for the last time, and summer once again approaches. I will miss all of my teachers and my friends here. The good news is that a new roller coaster awaits me at Berkeley High next fall.
Yeah.